Hello, Capricorn. Welcome into Don Williams Tarot. I hope this message finds you happy, healthy, and prosperous. I'm doing well, thank you. Today's reading is for sun, moon, or rising placements in the sign of Capricorn. So if you have those, this message may be for you. Keep in mind, this is a general reading, not a one-on-one reading. So therefore, not all the messages may resonate with you. So keep what does and leave what doesn't. Okay. If you're interested in doing a deep dive as to what's going on with you in your life, I do provide private readings. My information is in the description box below. So today I am going to be pulling cards for you for the week of August the 18th through the 24th. And while I do this portion of your reading, I am going to take myself off screen so that we can focus on your cards. At the end of your tarot reading, I am going to pull some cards from the Spirit Junkie deck as well as the Moonology deck to see if there's any additional messages that Spirit would like for you to know. Okay. If you're brand new to my channel, I'd absolutely love it if you would subscribe. I do provide private readings now, but it's only on YouTube. I don't have a way to simulcast to other platforms at this time. So when I go live, it's typically only on YouTube. So if you're interested in coming in and asking a question on what's going on with you, you're more than welcome and are invited to do so. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with your reading. And that's all I really wanted to share. I am going to tell you, though, that, I have been really paying attention. Next week, the week of August the 18th, I am recording this on August the 15th. So the week of August the 18th is definitely a week that has a lot of interesting astrological things happening. So there's a lot of things happening with with the planets, right? With the where they are, what houses they're in, all that kind of stuff. I am not an astrologer, but from the various astrologers that I, watch or I'm kind of keeping my eye on in terms of what's coming towards us, next week looks like it may be a really interesting week. So give yourself plenty of time. We do have 5 planets in retrograde. Right at this time, Mercury is in retrograde. And if you know anything about that, that's all about, communication, breakdown of communication, those types of things. So we're just going to keep on trucking, right? All right, here we go, Capricorn. So we start off with the Moon card. Whew, that's a really heavy card to start off your reading with. And then you have the Judgment card. So we'll see where this is going. 5 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles, 9 of Swords, the Justice, and the Strength card. Okay, Capricorn, it's looking really interesting. So we do have these 2 pentacles here, but that's pretty much all that really represents Capricorn energy. We don't have the Devil card, which is Capricorn, and we don't have the World card here. So we're going to start off with this Moon card. Now, the interesting thing is in this placement, this card is representing you and your energies for this week, going into this week. Now, right off the bat, this is saying you really are going to need to trust your intuition, okay? This is a card of hidden things. There are things that may be around you or that you are feeling yourself that you don't want to share with others, right? But the other thing about this is hidden truths. Now, the other thing about the Moon card is it isn't really speaking specifically about a person. It is speaking about a group of you, right? And this card is also my card of having to face any fears that you might be walking into or being aware of. You have to work through your fears. For me, this is a beautiful card to do some deep inner self work. Now, I know that's typically with the Hermit card, but when this card comes up as the representing you, I feel as though many of you may be doing some deep inner work on yourselves. The moon card also represents, like I had mentioned, it's hidden truths. It's facing your fears. It's also a card of the death of the ego. So it's really kind of going above and beyond, right? It's really having you settle into more of your soul knowledge or more into your higher self information coming in. Death of the ego is something that we all do go through if we are walking our path as a being that is trying to ascend, right? We're all on this ascension path. So I do feel as though the death of the ego is a major thing to overcome. It does take a while to recognize that, you know, the ego is one of those aspects of ourselves that definitely is going to fight to keep control. So just be aware that if you're feeling these inner feelings, it's really definitely because of this card. Now, the second thing I'm going to say is that we do have a full moon coming next week. So I feel as though for my Capricorns, this is going to be an important day for you, the day of the full moon. So keep that in mind. Okay. Now, as we're talking about the week itself, there is some big revelations that are going to come in. Again, this is another major arcana. You have four major arcanas in 7 cards. So this may be a heavy hitting week for you. It may take a little longer than just this week to work through all the energies that are going to come up and you are going to work through. The Judgment card is that card of a big awakening. This is telling you you do have to pay attention. Look at the imagery on the card. You've got an angel blaring their trumpet to wake up the dead, right? Now, it's full of symbology, this card, but basically, what it's really saying is that if there have been things that you have been looking at throughout your life, and you have thought that those things went a particular way, this week you might be introduced to a new concept, a new belief system, or something that is going to really challenge your beliefs. Okay, that's what this card does represent. So something big is coming in. It is telling you that you're going to have to face those limitations, whatever they may be, or limiting thinking, or whatever it is. This is my card of needing total transparency and aligning your heart with your motives. So it is a big energy, and I do feel as though it might be a big week for you in terms of your personal growth. Okay. Now, the other thing that I see here is that 5 of Pentacles. Now, the Pentacles do represent our earth energy, but this one is a card where you're feeling as though you're being left out in the cold. This is in your past position. So it might be a situation where you were expecting to get some kind of notice, or you were expecting to get some kind of accolades, or potentially a bonus, a raise, a promotion, something along those lines. And it can be a situation where you were overlooked. And that would be this type of an energy here. Now, when this card was created, you know, the tarot cards were created, started as playing cards, and they were all archetypes, right? They didn't have the minor arcanas until much later. But the thing was, there still is time. There is still periods of time, which is 500 years ago, right? However long years ago it was, 1,000 years ago, 1450, I think it was, that this 1450s were when the cards were first created. And they're now doing more history on the whole tarot and card playing. And I just read a post where they have found cards that have gone back to the 1300s, 1390 or something. I didn't really spend much time with that because, I find it interesting, but I don't find it so interesting that I want to know all the ins and outs of how tarot came about. But in this situation, you see these two people here. These two people are injured, they're hungry, they're worn out. They're walking by this church. Now, they should be able to go into that church and get help. They should be able to get, bread or, some kind of help from the church. However, when these cards were created, these people were considered, below the church, and the church would not help them really. So it feels as though they would just keep walking on their path. They would not go to the church for help. And it feels as though when you are feeling left out in the cold like that, or you're feeling as though you don't have anywhere to go or any way to resolve your issues, that you just do the best that you can. In this situation, this 5 is representing changes coming in. So if you've been feeling as though you're a little under the weather, or you have been passed by, or you're feeling, some kind of a disappointment, just recognize that this card is saying that, of course, is going to resolve itself pretty quickly without any big major traumas coming in. Now, in this very center row, this is representing your energy for the week. This is representing your energy. This is representing the question, or how we our current situation. The card in the center is kind of the energy that you are going to be really focusing on this week, and that is mostly your job. So even though August is typically a month of vacation, it feels as though many of you are still going to be working this week, and that you are going to be very diligent in your job space. This right here is telling us that you have a very good focus, that you really do create really good work, that you are good at what you do. And that's kind of where your focus is going to be for the week overall. And as we're moving into your future energy, it feels as though some of you are feeling a lot of anxiety at night, or this is supposed to be a perpetual nightmare. These are dreams that, occur every single night, and you're not getting any rest. And it's symbolic, right? All the cards are symbolic. So what this is really saying is that you've got some anxiety that you're hanging on to, Capricorn, or that there's some things that are bothering you that are occupying space in your mind. And it feels as though without those sleepless nights, these swords are the things that keep coming up and keep coming up. And a lot of times when you look at the actual thoughts themselves, these are thoughts that are out of your control, or these are thoughts that you cannot really do anything about to change, right? It's like your worst nightmare, the things that you do, the conversations that you have with yourself, like, I'm not good enough, or I can't do this, or whatever it is. It just needs to be, you need to flip your script. You need to change the way that you're thinking about something, and I think you're going to be just fine. Now, you have 2 more major arcana. So you had the Moon card, the Judgment. Now you have the Justice card. Now, the thing about the Justice card, this is my card of legalities. So be careful as you're driving. You don't want to be pulled over because you're speeding. Make sure that your car is fully operational, and that all the lights and all the stuff work, so that you don't have a reason to be pulled over. Remember, we are in Mercury retrograde, and we will be, I'm not exactly sure when it goes back, but we are through that energy, I think, through this next week. And so that is I'm just trying to tell you to be cautious. Okay. Now, the other thing about the Justice card is this is my Truth and Integrity card. He does have a sword, so it is a logical thinking here. He has the scales here as well, which is to mete out karmic justice. And the Justice card is, for some of you might be having some kind of legalities that you're working through. And this card is saying that more than likely your legalities are going to work out okay, because we have that Strength card there as your clarifier. Again, the Justice card is also my card of Oh, it is the legal process, but it's also that card of being very fair, right? Being fair, but not willing always to change the way that you think about things. So some of you might be a little stubborn in the way that you're thinking about something, but you do believe in fairness, right? So I feel as though some of you are going to be tugged in a situation where you're going to go, oh, I don't really want to do this, but it's the fair thing to do, right? The other thing about the Justice card is this is my cause and effect, and this is my card of coming from your highest level of integrity. For some reason, that's important for you this week as well. The Strength card is your overall outcome. And the Strength card does represent your willpower, your quiet strength within you. This is saying that you have gentle leadership skills. So has been able to tame this lion, right? Now, lion's supposed to be like, the king of all the beasts. And this lion trusts her. So she has a side of her which does exhibit a great deal of personal integrity and personal strength. And at the same time, she does have a level of gentleness where even this lion would be willing to submit because he trusts her. So for me, this is that card of truth and integrity, right? And this is that card of your inner integrity, the way that you demonstrate yourself to other people. And the strength card is the energy of all the things that you've gone through in your life to get you to where you are today. But it's also the culmination of all the times in all your lifetimes where you've had to really pull in that inner will, that inner strength. And I feel as though what's happening with us, particularly in 2024 and moving forward, on our timeline here, is that we're calling back our strengths to us. We're calling back all of our gifts so that we can bring them in, right? Because, the planet is doing her thing in her ascension path. So I feel as though this is really demonstrating you, Capricorn. And I do feel as though you're going to have a good week here. I do feel as though there is some big things coming in. So just be aware of all of that energy and that it is going to take some time for you to work through it all. Okay. So now I'm going to pull a couple of cards for you. I honor my self-worth by asking for what I want. What a beautiful card, Capricorn. Now, I don't know about you. I mean, I'm an earth sign too. I have a really hard time asking for help. I will, but it's only if I know that I can't do it all by myself. And I'm sure you're not very far different than I am, Capricorn, because you too are a earth sign. Oops, wrong card. Sorry. I am in sync with the flow of life. Now, for me, this would be a perfect um, affirmation to say. I am in sync with the flow of life, and whatever comes easily to me. Laughter, happiness, joy. I am in the sync of life, and good health comes easily to me. I am in the sync and flow of life, and money comes to me easily. You know what I mean? That kind of a thing. So use this energy here as a affirmation for you. This is a really easy affirmation, and affirmations are very positive because they change the chemistry within your brain. As soon as you start thinking lower vibrational energies, it really does bring down your vibration. And when you start thinking of more positive affirmations and that type of stuff, it does bring up those chemistries within your system, and it does make your body feel better. Okay, expect powerful change. Now, this is just confirming what I said. Thank you for that confirmation, Spirit. I appreciate that. This is talking about a new moon eclipse. Of course, this is not exactly what we're really looking at here. I'm looking at the energy of the card, and it's saying expect powerful change. And as I was saying, you have these four majors here. So definitely realize that it's going to take a bit. Okay. It's not going to be a one and done and fast. Like that five is quick. Right? Fives are quick. It's the bigger cards that take a little bit more time to move through them. And it says a new romantic cycle begins. Well, that's beautiful, right? And this is a new moon in Libra, but I like the idea of romance. At the same time, remember what I had said was so you got two new moons. That's funny. Is that full moon is coming this week. So I feel as though that's an important date or energetic for you. So use it to your advantage here, Capricorn. Okay, show self. So I want to thank you all for being here and listening to this video. Please give me a thumbs up. It really does help my channel grow. And take very good care of you. Do some self-care. And until next time, realize this is going to take you a little bit to work through. And it's going to be a lot more expansive for you once you recognize and realize what that judgment card is specifically talking about. Okay. So take care of you. Till next time. Cheers.